can't do my laundry, then I'd rather marry a If my wife can't do my laundry, then I'd rather marry a fellow man, because then we'd have a lot of interesting to talk about, like football, etc. Not the laundry being out of the closet and not you. What are we talking about?
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to K Podcast. So, I came across these videos in TikTok as usual. I normally bring up topics from there because the algorithm sometimes be doing its work. But so there is this argument that's been going around of, some women, a particular lady coming out and talking about, she does not want to date a guy on the deal, and that some of these men on the deal. And this topic actually brought in a lot of people to talk about this, and some people had their own takes. But as usual, I'm gonna give you guys my own takes on uh my own opinion about this, because I feel like if you're on the deal, why not just come out at once? Why, like, the first video you saw over here, yeah, it's quite interesting that some men would say, oh, I'd rather go marry a man. So it sounds like maybe you are not someone that really like women like that. You're just there for what they can do for you. And this is the thing, some men, I'm not saying all, some men are actually on the down low. They are on the deal down low, you know what I mean. And it's just because of what women provide, especially when it comes to the domestic work at home. Some of them might put up with it and be like, oh my god, okay, but it is not majority. And my take on this is that if you're in a relationship, either you come out to your partner, because it is important, especially to the woman's health, because men have, I feel like men have thicker skin than women, our body is not conducive for that kind of thing. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to come out and be like, what do you mean by that? This is the thing, a man can play around for a long time, even if he's sick, he will not notice that he's sick. But a woman, our body is much more sensitive. So if you're dating, if you are somebody that you are probably bi, I would just say, tell your partner. A lot of women are open to it. Some women are open to dating men that are, bi, and there is nothing wrong with being openly bi and celebrating it, but I feel like not telling your partner, for her or he not having the opportunity to choose, is you doing them a disservice. Because the fact that you want your choice and your right to, express yourself, you should also think about, you're taking away the right of that person to make their decision if they want to be with you or not. So I'm gonna come up with this first video over here that she made before this whole thing blew out of proportion, and another people's take on this.
You men be gay. A lot of you men be gay, bro. It's like we don't even have to worry about if we getting cheated on with another girl. Like now we scared to look through your phone and you talking to another man. A lot of these industry men, they all gay or have had gay experiences. These hood men be gay too. They be mad gay rumors floating around the hood. Oh my gosh. It's a lot going on.
So that was the first video she made that erupted to another lady. I didn't find her video directly, but I found another person speaking on what she was talking about, but I will bring that video later on. My own concern is, if you want a genuine relationship, if you truly love that person, you would tell them and give them the opportunity to choose if they really love you and they want to stay in that. Because at the end of the day, it's preference. At the end of the day, it's preference, and you might not, everybody's everyone's preference. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At the end of the day, at least you're being true to yourself and you're being true to the other person. Now, this was the other video that she made that garnered, after this first video that she made, this other video came up and gathered a lot of response. And I'm gonna bring up the other lady's video as well, because I feel like this is the thing. Just because you you know, you are in a certain group, or you find you are not straight, does not mean that you're going to push that on everybody else. Everybody else also have the rights, just the way you have the right to enjoy your sexuality. Everybody else have the same right to enjoy that same thing, without, bringing conflict into it, instead of, arguing what the other people should accept and what people should expect from you. I would say this is the best thing. I would prefer everybody just respect each other's choices and keep it pushing. If somebody feels like you are not your preference, just keep it pushing. It's not that hard. Like respecting people's decisions and what they choose to do with their body and who they choose to be in a relationship with. So let me bring up this other video over here that she talked about, because like I said from the starting, women's body are very sensitive, and many of the times, if you're in some of these men that are in the deals, they are not even taking care of themselves, and they bring it home, presents, the kind of presents they bring back that never leaves. Yeah. So let me bring up this video over here that she talked about, her second response to this video.
On DL men, I want to know. Well, I wanted to address my video on DL men. I want to know, what about that video gives off homophobic? What about that video gives off homophobic? Why? Because we don't want the men that we be with, straight women, we don't want our men to like other men. So you telling me that I have to accept that?
This is the mindset that I really don't like when people have this. It's like, oh, because I'm this, you should accept that for yourself, not that I want to be this and live my life and enjoy myself. No, I want you to accept it. This is the thing. Women have been going through a lot, especially since last year till this year. And Roe v. Wade being overturned, women body autonomy, some states trying to take that away. And so, for some people to just think about, oh my God, since you don't want to accept this, you are this. No, we're just throwing stickers on people right now and hope it sticks. It's crazy. But not everybody's going to want what you want. And that's why all these spaces are created for people that, want to identify as that feel like that is what they are, to actually express themselves freely, but not, try to stop other people from being themselves as well.
That I gotta accept being with a down low gay. So you telling me that I have to accept that? That I gotta accept being with a down low gay or bisexual man? No, I don't have to deal with that. No, I don't. All right. I like my men who like, I love it. No, I don't want to be with men who like other men. And y'all are not going to make me feel bad about that. That does not make me homophobic. It does not. All right. I love everybody for who they are. That's cool. That's on you. Whatever you want to do with your life, that's on you. But at least be honest about it. At least be upfront about it, so I can make the decision if I want to fuck with you or not. These men be getting into marriages 10, 15 years and they be secretly gay. That was the point of the video. But it does not make me homophobic just because I don't want to be with a man who is bisexual. No. No. I don't want to. I don't want my man to like other men. I'm sorry. You're not going to make me feel bad about it. I said what I said.
I mean, this is the thing. When you start infringing on other people's right to be themselves, it starts sounding terrible out here, you're not definitely gonna garner a lot of support, because what she's saying right here is she wants to be free just like every other person is free out here. And she these are the kind of men that are our preference. And I feel like, yeah, I definitely do understand what she's talking about. And I feel like anybody that disagrees with her is just somebody that's trying to start something. If you disagree with her, because you have your own sexuality, and if you bi or any other, this is the thing, you can easily come go and express yourself over there, and hopefully nobody comes around and try to tell you how to live your life. But you telling a straight woman, oh my god, you can't be straight, you can't just say, oh, the man have to be for you alone. No, if the man is on the DL, I say let him go to the other side, convert, or literally let your partner know, so that they can decide if they want to be in that relationship. Now, this is another response that somebody, this is a response that somebody made. I found this response, and I was really in love with his response to this particular argument, because there was another lady that came out and tried to, tell her, oh my God, you guys are just, you want certain things to be on certain grounds. And I'm like, no, just the way you want people to respect what you are and your sexuality. That is exactly what this lady over here is asking for.
Other men. No, I don't want to be with men who like other men. And y'all are not going to make me feel bad about that. That does not make me homophobic.
Yes, it does.
Girl, no it doesn't. Y'all just love throwing around these buzzwords, don't you? Homophobic? Really? So let me get this gay real quick. You're trying to convince us that because this woman prefers that a man that she's romantically involved with is not tooted up for another man, or vice versa, whatever they got going on, that ultimately means that she's prejudiced against an entire group of people. She has an irrational fear of homosexuals. I mean, God forbid people have preferences nowadays. Maybe, just hear me out now, maybe it's just not her cup of tea. Doesn't really get her going. And don't sit here and lie to me right now. I know y'all have cut people off for less.
Why does it bother you so much, the notion that your partner might be bisexual? Why does that give you the ick? Why does it repulse you? Why does it make you go, ugh? The straights live in such a bubble, and they think that everything exists in binary, gay, straight, man, woman, and like there's no teetering on a spectrum. So the notion that there can be any fluidity in sexuality just does not compute.
So I went and I watched the original creator's videos. You're kind of gassing it. She's not as disgusted or as repulsed as you're making her out to seem. She's simply saying, not in my relationship, not really for me. Here's the beautiful thing about it. There's 8 billion people. It's going to be for a lot of people. Different strokes for different folks. Straights live in a bubble and only see things in a binary. You say this while simultaneously taking the context of her video and choosing to see it in black and white, tunnel vision, right? Two things can be true at once. She can not want a relationship with a bi man, gay man, DL man, while also not being homophobic towards an entire community of people.
What really blows my mind is all the straight girls defending her in the comments. The same girls that want to be entertained by the gays at drag shows, but when it comes to actually stepping in for the LGBTQ plus community, crickets. It is biphobic to say that. It is homophobic to say that. So sit down, marinate in it, unpack it, unlearn it. Stop perpetuating stereotypes that bisexual men are cheaters, that bisexual men are
Okay, I'm just gonna stop her there. That they are cheaters. If he is on the DL and he doesn't tell her that he is seeing someone else, doesn't that make him a cheater still? I mean, when did the rules change? When did it change in general? Even if he would be seeing another woman without telling her that he's seeing someone else, and opening, maybe having a discussion if he's allowed to do that, or if they're going to be in an open relationship or something like that, and he goes, and even if he would cheat on her with another woman without telling her, that is cheating still. So it doesn't matter if he does it with a man or he does it with a woman without telling his partner, the person that he's dating, that is still considered cheating. It doesn't matter. There is no one way or the other. And marinating it, that is just crazy. It's like somebody telling you, oh, if you're getting cheated on, or marinate on it. So would she, and my own take is, she's talking about this, that is not cheating. She's saying it's not cheating. If you're, I want to just know this. If the partner, if the guy was cheating on her with a woman, would that be considered cheating then? Because it's like one rule for you and one rule for me. would that be considered cheating? Then yes, it would be considered cheating, right? If there were two lesbians in a relationship and one goes out and meets somebody else, even though if it's a woman, goes outside and meets another woman and start, running relationship with that one without telling the official girlfriend, that is still considered cheating. It doesn't matter which relationship you are in. Cheating is cheating. And if you are on the DL, you are doing a disservice to your relationship by not actually coming out and explaining it to that woman, being like, hey, I do like men too. Would you prefer to still date me? Do you still want to be in this relationship, or don't you? I feel like people lying before getting into relationship is crazy, because that is a rocky foundation. That is not going to be a steady foundation.
Inherently dirty because they've slept with other men. It just perpetuates so much hatred.
Yeah, imagine that. The girls hanging out with the gays, because what you're trying to slap the homophobic label on is not true homophobia. It's a preference. As for the bi stereotypes that you were listing at the end, I didn't hear those come out of her mouth once. So is the hit dog howling right now? It seems as if you're trying to create a lot of discourse between what was actually said in her video and some emotions you're trying to evoke with your viewers for whatever reason, to make this seem as if it's an actual act of homophobia, when in reality, it's a preference. People are allowed to have preferences with the people that they choose to establish a relationship with. In conclusion, and in simple terms, be so fucking for real right now. This is not homophobic. And stop throwing that word around, because it truly holds no value anymore. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one.
I like whenever he talks, because every time his channel pops out in TikTok, I normally do try to listen to what he says. But this is the thing, he actually did say the truth, because this is the thing. If somebody does not want to date you because, hey, you prefer this kind of person, and they're like, okay, I'm not into that, I'm not into polygamy. It's like, even it also goes far as asking somebody, do you want to be in a monogamous relationship or in a polygamy relationship? And if the person say no, I do not want to be in a polygamy relationship, are you gonna tell the person now, like, hey, you being homophobic for not wanting to be in a polygamy relationship? No, you're not. So she loses that. The girl that came out to counter this topic, she actually lost for this one, because now, so I'm gonna bring up another video over here of another woman talking about this whole thing. So let me bring up this woman, because she was trying to explain why women are feeling this way.
They want other men? Not quite. But there's a lot of women who have been wondering, is my man secretly gay? The disclaimer is obviously that none of these women, and myself included, are shaming anyone for their sexuality. But what we are shaming them for is not coming to terms with who they are and allowing other people in their life to be in the wake of their destruction because of it. Ladies, have you ever been with a man intimately and you felt like he genuinely just didn't like it, or he wasn't there, or he wasn't present? Or maybe you've been with a man who's obsessed with going on boys' trips, or he treats his friends better than he treats his girl. What about the man that has a girlfriend and a couple side chicks, and he's always cheating and he's on a million apps? A man who cannot get enough attention and validation. Maybe it's because he's truly not getting what he wants or what he needs, which is attention and validation in an intimate way from a man. I think there are a lot of reasons why this happens. I thought these things when I was reflecting on my relationship with my ex, who was a narcissist and who was abusive. Like, how could a man say that he loves a woman but treat her this way? Why is it that I've never heard this man speak negatively of his male friends? And at the same time,
and that is always, I think, ladies, you need to really start looking at those men now, because these are always like a sign. If he's talking bad about you to his friends, if he's talking terribly, if his reaction towards you is hostile, he might just be in that relationship with you to just cover up. And if he would fight you over his friends, girl, you are in it. You should definitely take those as a sign. That's what I think. Yes.
this man always hates his friends' wives and girlfriends. One of my ex's best friends would take videos of women in the bedroom without their consent. And his thing was trying to say this without getting flagged. Well, there's two options when you're being intimate with a woman. There's two options down there. He preferred the one in the back. He took videos of these women. He created an OnlyFans account, just putting those videos up. One time my boyfriend was joking and telling me, look at what my friend's doing. Do you want to see these videos? And I'm like, you could argue that just because a man likes that doesn't mean he's gay. But I'll tell you what, he does like degrading women. And how can you degrade and devalue something so much that you say that you love? I also think sometimes hypermasculinity is a mask. A lot of times these men that are hyper-masculine will condemn anything that's gay. In a roundabout way, they're condemning the feminine. Men really only seek validation from other men. And I think some men are afraid to come out because of what their boys will think. Will their friends invalidate them? Will they shame them? Will they reject them? Or maybe they grew up in a society or in a culture, in a religion that was homophobic. Maybe they have repressed this so much that it's not even conscious to them. They can't even consciously entertain the thought. There's too much shame, they won't allow themselves to see it. I also think a lot of times misogyny can be a mask. Like, why do you hate women so much? Think about all the married men that are on these dating apps, that are on Grindr. When I was studying law enforcement and criminal justice, I went on a million ride-alongs, and whatever officer I was with, they would always take me to these special parks, and they would say, these are where the straight married men come to get whatever done. Then I think, why do these men self-sabotage so much, specifically within relationships? There's a conscious...
I feel like mostly when you see a man self-sabotaging that much, he's not happy. Is the people he surrounds himself with are not really, he might think they are his friends, but your real friends would actually support you to having a happy lifestyle and being free. And if you're masking all of that just so that, you know, being on the DL thing, and you have friends around you as a man that have to push you to literally like hide yourself, those are not your friends. Find new friends. Go get new friends. Go and get new friends. Those are not your friends, because they should be thinking about your happiness, and you shouldn't be hiding.
And an unconscious need that are in conflict with one another. Sure, I might consciously want a woman for all of these ways, but I unconsciously really want a man, so they're in conflict with one another. And also, can we talk about how the patriarchy is very homoerotic? And that's a whole nother video. But I don't have the answers here. These are just my thoughts. If you're a woman who has experienced any of this, I would love to hear about it.
Now I'm gonna say this. This is the thing. Yes, there are some men out here that would ride and die for their homies and all of that. But that always, you know, I feel differently whenever I see a man riding for his homies, and, you know, I'm riding for my homies. And then I'm like, hold on a second, what about your wife? Are you also doing the same? And then if I see that the man is literally treating his wife like, oh, my wife did it, and complains throughout, I'm like, okay, you are not in a relationship with this woman. You are not in a marriage with this woman. You are in a marriage with your friends, but they don't know. It's better off you come out and tell which one of them that you are in love with them. Maybe the thing is, a lot of these men know that if they are secretly in love with one of the guys in their friend group, if they eventually ever open their mouth and tell them that, you know, they are attracted to them, they would be beat down, shamed, and all of that. So normally they take that frustration out on their girlfriends, or, you know, a woman that they're in a relationship with. They take that frustration out of them, on them, you know. And this is the thing. That's why I always tell a woman, if your husband is not out here praising you and loving you, for showing you that he's really into you, and you know, giving you the signs that, you know, this is what the both of you are into, and he's into you. And this is another thing, and telling you about his own self, you know, if he's out here humiliating you, complaining to his friends about you, talking about how horrible you are to his friends, and, you know, just bashing you all around, yeah, you are married to a man that is in love with another man. You're married to a man that probably is on the deal, and he's just not telling you. And if you are with a man that would rather do everything for the guys than do anything for you, but whenever you ask for something, he tells you to do it yourself, yeah, you should start really thinking about it. Maybe call him, sit him down, and tell him, I want you to tell me the truth. Why you attracted to? And he might be like, oh, I'm not attracted to any one of them. But I would say take note of that. And if you want to continue being in that relationship without him being transparent, I feel like everyone in their relationship should be transparent to each other. And if it's not being transparent, you might as well just close that door and keep it moving. Because I feel like everyone should have the option to choose. And maybe the person he wants to choose is not the person that is going to want to be with him. Maybe he knows that the guy that he's friends with, that he has a crush on, is not into that. So he feels like, oh my God, okay, I'm not going to even bother, but I'm just going to stay friends with them just to have their presence around me. It's just crazy. And this is the funny thing. It's not women that are making a lot of these men feel shame. It is their fellow men. So the problem always goes back to them. It is their fellow men that will be out here shaming them, making them feel humiliated. So at the end of the day, some of them will take it out on the women. And that's why I say to women, if you're dating a guy and he's on the DL, if you feel like he's on the DL, ask him the question. And if the result all comes out that is in that kind of relationship, he has lied to you because he has not been truthful to you to really tell you that is what he's into. That is not love. I don't know what that is. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for being here. Do not forget to press that like button, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.
Can't do my laundry, then if my wife can't do my laundry, then I'd rather marry fellow men, because then we'd have a lot of interesting to talk about, like football, etc. Not the laundry being out of the closet and not you. What are we talking about?